Alright guys, welcome to this video. So if you're watching this video now, that means you have an issue with your trouser and you want to perfect it by watching this video. So at the end of this video, I'm going to be making sure that I will guide you through the steps of getting you to be very familiar with your trouser measurements. If you are a tailor, this video is for you. So first of all, what you need to do is knowing your basic measurement for your trouser. Like now, I have already drafted this pattern out and I want to use it to explain to you what we really mean by all these things. I posted this on my Facebook page. A lot of people were confused. Where is the X coming from? Where is the Y coming from? Where is the X coming from? What is it doing in tailoring? Now I'm going to explain for you. So what you have to do is to watch this video till the end. So now let's start with the waistline. Where do we call the waistline in trouser? Your waistline is the starting point of your trouser. This is your waistline. Understand? So before we go into the video, do well to press the subscribe button and also the like button, so it helps us to create more content like this. So without wasting much time, let's move into the video. So we are back now. This is the waistline, and this waistline, this is where you mark your waist measurement. For example, your waist is 34 inches. So let's say 34 inches. Now using this formula, take note of this formula we have here. 34 inches divided by 4 is what you will call X. For example, 34 inches divided by 4, what you have as the answer is what you write as X. I use X to describe what you have as your answer. Your waist can be 30 divided by 4 is going to give you 7.5. so 7.5 is your X. Now that's your answer you have, plus 1 inch allowance, so that will be 8.5. so you're marking 8.5 here, right here on the waistline. You're marking 8.5. so now we are done with the waist. Now let's move to the lap measurement. How do you have your lap measurement? Some people do get confused. Now you need to measure your cross depth first. Your cross depth is the measurement from your customer's waist down to where you have the lap measurement. So now some people use tape to measure that, but I calculate it. You can use your hip divided by 4 for you to have your cross depth. This is if you have two formula here. You can use your laps divided by 2, what you have. For example, if your lap is 24 inches, now you say 24 divided by 2, it will give you 12 inches, which is the X here. So now 12 inches minus 3 inch is going to give you the cross depth, which is 9 inches. So the cross depth is supposed to be 9 inches. So you now mark 9 inches from the waistline. You mark 9 inches. That is where you have your lap measurements. So on that lap measurement, you now place your lap measurement there from the beginning of the line here. You mark here. So when you now have your lap measurements, you mark that point. Now you are going to divide your lap by 2 inches. When you divide your lap by 2 inches, what you have is the center point. You see this line passing through here? That's the center point. I have already written it here as center point. So you have your center point. Then from there, you can now mark your knee measurement. This is your knee measurement. Your knee measurement is from your waist down to where you have your knee. You can mark it here. So after that, you now move down to your ankle measurement. It's from your waistline down to where you have your ankle, or where your customer wants the trouser to stop. So that is where you are going to mark it, and then you add extra 2 inches allowance here for the bending. So that is all for the vertical measurement. Now let's go into this hip measurement. Now a lot of people get confused. Where will I mark my hip measurement? Sometimes when I mark the lap measurement, I will come inside by 2 inches depending on how big the customer is. If it's really big, I will come in by 1.5 inches. But if it's not big, it's a normal person, I will come in by 2 inches. Then connect the line from there to the waistline there. The waistline we had here, you connect the line from that place to the waistline. Or you can now say you come up from your lap line, you are going to come up 3 inches or 2 inches depending on how the customer is big. So when you come up by 3 inches here, you are going to have, for example, here our cross depth was 9 inches. So coming up here by 3 inches, I think this is going to be 6 inches from the waistline. So this is where you're going to mark your hip measurement. Connect your waistline to the hip down to the lap, and you create the curve. So if you have any issue with your trouser pattern, comment on this video, let us know and solve the issue for you. Now, from your lap measurement down to your hem here, or your ankle, that is called the inseam. In case most of us see any video that is called inseam, so that is where you have your inseam. So now in this formula, in my next video, I'm going to talk about the relationship between the hip and the lap. So take note, this is the cross depth from your waist to your lap measurement. You can as well measure your customer. Sometimes you can calculate for it, just like my own. I do calculate for everything. So now, how would you mark the hip? The hip now is divided by 4 inches. What you have, you add 1 inches to it and you mark it here. Your lap is divided by 2 inches and you add half inches to it, you mark it. That is how you have your lap measurement. You don't just divide and write it. But once you have your lap, for example 24, you divide it by 2, it will give you 12. Add half inches, it will give you 12 and a half. Then that 12 and a half that you now divide the 12 and a half into 2 to have your center point. Now the function of this center point now is making all your measurements to stay in the middle. The center point is going to pass through all your measurements from the lap downward. For example, this knee now, if your knee was, let's say 18, initially you're going to divide 18 by 2 and you have 9. So now you cannot just mark that 9. You further do 9 divided by 2, which is 4.5. So 4.5 will be here and 4.5 will be here. So that is full 9. That is the function of center point, to divide all the measurement. The same thing here too. So in case you have any issue with your trouser, visit the comment section and let us know. I'll be there and I'll be waiting to attend to everybody that have issue with cutting of trouser. So I hope this video is useful for everybody that has issue with it. Thank you, and I want to see you in my next video.